So this guy compared Jewish people in the Holocaust when Hitler was having them rounded up and putting them on trains and sending them to gas chambers or concentration camps to people who illegally enter the United States of America in violation of our laws and or stay here past their visas illegally in violation of our laws. They're not here illegally. He compared the Jews. Basically, this man's allegation, he's a professor, is that Jews were illegal immigrants. That's insultive. It's anti-Semitic. It's, to be generous, a faulty premise. But it is absolutely insulting to Jews. So I'm going to share the actual history of how Jews were in Germany at the time that they were. And I think that this man should be removed from his position, or at the very least, he should be admonished for what he is teaching to students and saying this to the public, to the world, accusing Jews of having been in Germany illegally. This is absolute propaganda. So this is AI, Google AI, okay? Here's the historical facts, and you can use any kind of various history research, but this is just a quick look. So, why did a professor say Jews were in Germany illegally when they were rounded up by Hitler? During the Nazi era, no credible professor or historian has ever claimed that Jews were in Germany illegally. They were never called illegal immigrants. Let's get that straight. When they were rounded up. Such a statement, and keep in mind, this is a professor who actually said that, and it's on the internet, okay, if you haven't seen the video, is false and will reflect Holocaust denial. A position universally rejected by historians. The vast majority of Jews in Germany were citizens and were legally in the country before the Nazis stripped them of their rights through laws they passed. In fact, Jews were in there for, some of them, for centuries. A professor who made such a claim would be doing one of the following: echoing Nazi propaganda. The Nazis sought to legitimize their persecution by creating laws that denied Jews citizenship, isolated them from German society. An academic who repeats this line of reasoning would be validating Nazi racial pseudoscience and rejecting historical fact, engaging in anti-Semitic discourse. This is why this professor should be removed. And any school teaching such propaganda should be caused to cease immediately. Equating modern-day Israeli policy to Nazi Germany has been designated as an example of anti-Semitism under the international definition of anti-Semitism. A professor could face criminal charges for such statements in Germany. Praise God for that. Spreading Holocaust denial. Some academics who have engaged in Holocaust denial or historical revisionism have faced legal and professional consequences. For example, a court case involving historian Deborah Lipstadt and Holocaust denier David Irving became a prominent legal battle over the denial of historical facts. How the Nazis legalized the persecution of Jews. The Nazi regime manipulated the German legal system to make the persecution of Jews appear legitimate and legal to some people. This was a crucial step in their campaign of dehumanization and systematic murder. Key legislative steps included the Nuremberg Laws, 1935, stripped German Jews of their citizenship, prohibited marriage and sexual relations with Jews and non-Jews, and laid the groundwork for further persecution. Anti-Jewish legislation between 1933 and 1939, more than 400 decrees and regulations were issued, systematically removing Jews from public life, professions, and the economy. Removal of legal protections. By 1943, Jews were removed entirely from the protection of German law and placed under the direct jurisdiction of the SS, paving the way for the final solution. I can go on and on, but the bottom line is the laws that require that you must enter a port. You cannot climb underneath the fence and sneak into our country and not be vetted. And when you come through a port, you will have directions on what type of stay do you have, how long you can stay. These are legal entries into our country. And some countries will shoot you if you even try to sneak in or put you in prison. It is in fact a crime. A lot of people don't believe that it's a crime, but there is actual federal statutes that make it a crime to come in illegally. And then it's even a felony if you have been deported and then come back illegally again. So if you overstay your visa, that is in fact a violation of immigration laws. So you cannot say that somebody's here illegally because they're doing what Democrats do. Democrats and Republicans both. They pass laws for immigration, and they've been in place for many, many decades. And Democrats also will remove people whether or not they have pending charges or have criminal convictions. In fact, in 2023, Biden had far more removals of people who didn't even have pending charges than Donald Trump has. That's fact. Look at the stats. They're on public record. So this guy who dare, and for the record, Obama also deported people. These people who are politicizing this nonsense about the enforcement of our laws, respect of our laws is what should be taught in our schools. Obedience of our laws is what should be taught in the schools. And just because they got by with this for a certain amount of time doesn't in any way diminish the fact that they violated the laws when they snuck under the fence, would not allow us to vet them to see if they're even here for terrorism or for whatever reason they want to be here. They just snuck in under the fence. Nowhere in the world does anybody allow people just to sneak in under their fence and not be held accountable. Only America do they demand that of us. And so this guy here, I asked people to make him viral, demand that he should be held accountable for his speech that he made in an open forum that was seen by the world. This is a man teaching our students, comparing Jews, accusing them of having been illegal immigrants in Germany during the Holocaust. This is unacceptable.